We had to get that sick ass beat going because we were only going to have one left, but we decided to pop an extra one on there. What's going on, everybody? It's me, Sean Tank Top. Welcome to the Sean Tank Top. Well, welcome to Watchers in the Bar live. We're doing it for season 2. We're doing some a finale predictions episode, special happy hour edition of our Mando Monday live streams. This is just this is just like Mando prediction hour, basically. This is like where we have ourselves a little drink or two, and we talk about what the hell is going to be going on. We appreciate everybody for coming by. I got myself my co-host and my partners in crime. Got Dustin DeJaren and Morgan Elsbeth over there. What's going on over there, Draces?
Doing great.
I didn't know we were drinking. It's only like 3 in the afternoon here.
That's true. I'm calling it a happy hour. I mean, like, I may or may not be fucking Dean Martining this here fucking thing. I might have slipped some tequila in it. I might not have. I'm not telling. I'm sure I'm going to get surly either way by the end of this thing.
It's 10 o'clock somewhere.
Right?
It's 10 o'clock somewhere. And speaking of that, we have ourselves from the awesome channel, The Clueless Fangirl. We have ourselves Helen, aka Boba Katan, down there. How are you doing over there, Helen?
Very good, very good. As we mentioned, it's 1 o'clock in Germany already. I mean, it's getting dark here around 4. I've been drinking since 3, so yay!
Amazing.
That is the European. That is like the European zone. That's one thing. Every time I've been over to Europe, I've been to England or anything like that. Like they all like. Europeans like usually start drinking around 2 or 3 o'clock or something like that, and they're shit faced by like 7 or 8, and then they go home, and that's how they kind of keep the 9 to 5 schedule, but they keep at the elbow, which is unlike me, a fucking bona fide night owl, and I drink until like 3 or 4 in the fucking morning, and then sleep until like just as late as that the other way around. But speaking of that, we're keeping it international. They're down there in Canada. We have ourselves a very good friend of mine. I'd say like our live stream Jedi, our live stream Obi-Wan, our live stream dude. You helped us kind of get into the whole live stream thing, and I'm always going to be super grateful and appreciative for that. We have ourselves Kyle from Fundomedia, the Fandalorian, down there. How are you doing there, sir?
Cold. Yeah, it's winter up here. Thanks for having me. Really nice to hang out again. I think the last time we all got together with the Draces, me, you, we invited Helen this time, which is sweet, was Westworld finale, I think. So
Westworld finale. Yeah, that was like when we had everybody together, because I was lucky enough to grab a little guest spot with y'all on your live strems, which we got one coming up, and we're gonna plug that everybody should fucking put in their little ticker, put in their calendars, because it's gonna be a lot of goddamn fun.
And no drinking for me. I'm just having some real Canadian spring water because it's early for me. I'm barely awake right now. I don't know. I feel like Gogurt right now.
You're just a little tuckered, and you're kind of like laying on your side.
Put me in my shackles. I'm just.
Oh my god. Fucking baby handcuffs. Absolutely. Well, shit, we really appreciate the both of you guys coming over, and we appreciate everybody. I'm drinking. Oh, here we go. I was like, Sean's drinking Moff Gideon's Haterade. Not a Haterade. I think it's completely bona fide and completely, completely warranted some of my misgivings about Gideon. But I who is famously wrong, like most of the time. And I stand to be corrected for this upcoming finale, and that is what we're talking about. That's the conversation that we're having. The format that we're doing for everybody, just so you know, we're going to be kind of going through like our little laundry list of characters, and we're going to kind of talk about whether or not that character is going to be in the finale, maybe where they're going in like the general story, and we're just going to kind of let it go from there. And again, just as a note for everyone who is out there in the chat, shout out to all of the awesome chatters. I love the live chat. It's like the thing that I go back and watch after we do these things, because I can't usually follow 100% of time off to the, but it's awesome. There's like this whole other fucking show. There's like a show within a show, man. You know what I mean? Like, and that's what's awesome about the live chat. But if you want to get into the conversation, and make sure that you do, head on over and send us a super chat for any dollar amount. If you do that, then that will basically, it puts you to the fucking front of the line. Now, I mean, like if somebody shouts out some cool, funny comment, somebody catches it, we'll put it up there. But if you want to make sure that we absolutely 100% address your theory, your query, your comment, your question, whatever that may be. Super chat is for any dollar amount, and we will make sure that we get to that. Well, shit. I mean, like, how about this? We'll start with this, just one general one, and we'll tee up our guest right here. Let's start with you, Helen. How are you feeling going into this finale? Are you feeling, pretty satisfied by and large by this season? How are you feeling going into the final episode of The Mandalorian?
Oh my God, definitely. The thing is, it started really good. Then we had like 1 or 2 episodes which were a bit slower. But then again, you can't always have like full action Boba showing up with Slave One, like me dreaming about this since like I was a little girl. And so no, I'm very happy. Last time we Kyle and I always give macaroons. So I always give it like 9 out of 10 or 11 out of 10. So I'm really happy about season 2 overall. I love they brought in so many characters. They're connecting the universe. They're kind of, bringing old canon lore back into Star Wars. Extended universe stuff. Thank you, Filoni. You're my new god.
We're not worthy. We're not worthy.
There is a lot of that going on, especially this. I've been calling this. This is almost like, we've talked about how this is very much like there you go, D. I see that wine bottle over there. You're fucking.
Not wine.
Oh, not wine. Okay.
Fernet.
Even better. Oh, there you go. Right
Somebody
on.
made the Dank Ferrick joke, and I was like, wait a minute. Wait, I've got Fernet. Like,
Yeah.
I feel bad. Everybody's drinking, but I'm gonna drink.
I'm fucking drink. I'll drink.
If I have a single bourbon, I will be out like a light. I can't even do it.
I mean, you don't have to do much to encourage me here,
But I think that's well said. And so I've been kind of calling this season has sort of been like, because we get it. We've talked about how it's very, some of the things that happen within like the storyline feel kind of very video game-esque. You know what I mean? Like, you go to a planet, you get yourself a mission, you got to do the mission, you get an upgrade, or you learn some new piece of information. And so there you go, girl, right on. But this has been kind of the Mandalorian expansion pack, where it's just like, you know what I'm saying? Like, where we've broadened the scope of this story by a whole hell of a lot. And so I think that's very well said, Helen, insofar as just like how excited the possibilities are some of the most exciting things to think about this season for sure. Kyle, what are you thinking over there? General thought heading into this finale. How are you feeling, buddy? What's on your mind?
Yeah, I really enjoyed season 2 so far. Me and Helen have had 4 or 5 discussions now. You got to come on for one, so that was really cool. Yeah, like, the alien face hugger episode, like the side quest. We talked a little bit about like the RPG kind of elements of The Mandalorian, where you have, your main overarching plot that connects several different characters. And then, the Mando is kind of going searching for information or a contact or some sort of character. So that's been really cool. I've really enjoyed it. And just, the way they weaved mythology and Star Wars lore, like a lot of it has been really great. And of course, we got the announcement last week that they're going to be doing 10 Star Wars shows and 10 Marvel shows. And 3 of those shows are going to be connected to The Mandalorian. So they're really, really expanding. And it's like the Filoni-verse is kind of expanding,
100%. Yeah, absolutely.
You guys feel kind of burned by like the Netflix crossovers in that, like, we were promised this big crossover and then we got Iron Fist and we're like, oh man, Defenders could have been so cool. I hope that doesn't happen in the Filoni-verse.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Like, you get 1 or 2 seasons, and then
Andor going to be the Iron Fist of the Star Wars.
Well, funny that you mentioned that, Dustin. I know Obi-Wan's only going to be 6 episodes, and Andor is only going to be like 10 or something like that. Yeah. So not like Ahsoka might be like 3 or 4 seasons. Mando's signed on for 5. Rangers of the New Republic signed on for 3 or 4 seasons. So like some of these shows are limited. Like, we didn't get an Obi-Wan trilogy, but we're getting 6 episodes. That's like getting a movie trilogy. So I think that's enough. They don't want to stretch that into 5 seasons. That would be overkill.
Right.
And then it's really high quality, right? If it's a limited series, it's literally a cinematic experience just on your TV, and I'm pretty sure they will bring that if cinemas open again. This is what I've heard and read, that they will. I think Variety or somebody reported that they plan also to bring it then to cinemas, which would be awesome. Just imagine
like the
sitting
Thrones
there for
finale,
8
Helen.
hours. Yeah,
like how they did the Thrones finales. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
We did that. I remember we did that. Was that for season the last 2 episodes of season 4? We did Drases, didn't we go see? It was the battle at the wall episode, and then the finale of season 4.
The IMAX one.
Yeah,
it was so cool.
There's definitely a couple of, and they even did it, I think, in episode 1, where they had that perspective, like IMAX, like kind of change or whatever, where it's like when you're watching a movie that was in IMAX, that's like a move that they'll do or whatever, which I thought was fucking really fun. But yeah, there's definitely some parts.
They could do it for like $5, guys. Movie theaters are hurting bad, right? Like they could do it super cheap. Get make a concession to get people in theaters. Fingers crossed, coronavirus vaccine. People have it by then. You know what I mean? And then make that concession and be like, hey, let's get people in the movie theaters. Let's try to get people back and do the thing it's gonna be basically how I was when I was getting the Sunday nights going with Game of Thrones at the bar, where I'm just trying to find a fucking reason for people to come out, you know what I mean, to get people in there and together and shit. And I think that that would be interesting. I would really love to. I wouldn't be. I know that I would be up for it to do like a fucking like a season finale or a season opener of this show, like in the theater. That would be fucking killer, man. I think that would be great. Shout out to April B real quick, setting a great example. Thank you so much, my dear. Nerds Unite toasting to Ahsoka Wines and Lightsabers LLC. I mean, I love that thing. Girl, one thing I will say is that you got to make that a thing and actually trademark that, because that is too good to not try to make it happen. You got the Canada Dry over there.
Are you only drinking Canada product? You're drinking Canadian Spring, Canada Dry?
Patriotic.
Patriotic, absolutely.
If I live next to America, I would be super patriotic this year.
He's got a TV in the background, like playing SCTV. Like he's just only doing Canadian things right now.
Yeah.
It's
he's watching South Park and the Canadian version. This is where the Canadians are.
I was just watching MSNBC earlier, but we won't get into that. So that was on in the background.
He's got like a koozie that has like Seth Rogen's face on it or something like that. Just keeping it all Canadian all the time. Of which I would be too. Like if my country handled the pandemic in a way that was responsible and gave me fucking universal health care, I'd be drinking American Dry all fucking day long. But anyway, shout out to Gabe Stoudemire also throwing in, I want a Star Wars Waru series? If you know what that is, we need it. If anybody out there in the chat, is that anyone? Does anyone know what that is? Is Gabe stumping us? I'm assuming it's a Knights of the Old Republic poll or something like that.
WARU, is that an abbreviation or I don't know what that is.
Clarify this, please.
Call up Maddie.
All right. Oh my God, the one time that we need Maddie and we don't have her. But anyway, so shout out in the comments if you know what it is and we will highlight it. Draces, how you feeling coming into this season? Are you feeling good? Do you think there's going to be resolution? Do you think that it's going to be a cliffhanger end of a season? What are you guys thinking is going to happen?
I'm only looking because now that my ideas of what season 3 would look like completely changed once they had the announcement of all the shows. Mm-hmm. Even though I had an inkling, but once you have it, like Ahsoka has a show, you're like, oh, okay, well, you don't have to answer any of her questions or anything. Mm-hmm. So I'm just looking for the world to get smaller, I guess, and then also just I need Moff Gideon's fucking deal. Like, what is his fucking problem?
All right, so I did look up Waru, by the way, and this is hilarious because there's right at the beginning of the the Wikipedia article, there's a line from C-3PO who knows a whole lot of shit. And he said, I confess that despite my knowledge of all the worlds of the New Republic and many worlds outside it, I am unfamiliar with this being. So go eat it, Gabe. Trying to be a contrarian.
A fucking bag of Sarlacc dicks, my dude. Like, I know that
C-3PO doesn't even know. Gabe is our friend, by the way. We're not just being mean to him, but like he's just trying to throw out the most obscure Star Wars thing possible.
Mentioned in the droid story.
Maybe.
100%. Oh, here we go. Like, here we go. Lord Broadwayman, why is this?
Oh, what if? This is the what if stuff. Yeah.
Like, what could happen if Anakin didn't portray the Jedi? Well, okay, all right. All right, I could get down with that. I mean, like, I always like that kind of alternative universe.
They're doing that for Marvel, by the way.
Yeah,
where Captain America was in Hydra and all sorts of different stuff.
All kinds of crazy shit. I mean,
some Elseworlds type stuff. Yeah.
They actually did a comic series where it was like, I can't remember what they called it, but it was like Star Wars Divergent or something like that. I can't remember, but basically it was like they did 3 comics, and it was each movie, but taken up to was the same, except for taken up to a certain point, they would deviate the story. Like, so for A New Hope, everything was basically the same until Luke tried to blow up the Death Star, and he didn't do it.
So is it like a sliding doors for Star Wars?
Sort of, a little bit. You know what I mean?
Like, on there.
100%. Or
he's
like
already in the Marvel universe.
Yes, exactly. And so like the Empire Strikes Back one was, I think it was Luke. It was like what would happen if Luke died at the beginning of, like, when he got attacked by the Wampa, and he actually died, and then like Han just has to like take up the mantle in some way or whatever. It's kind of interesting. It's like, so I'm all for that type of stuff. Yeah, I mean, like, I think that you guys are right on the money. I think that there's definitely some things I really want to see clarified, that I want to see happen. But it's been a super fun fucking season, like, you know, insofar as like, and just the breadth of it. Basically, it was like, you know, it was like the first season was kind of like showing us like that, or making us like feel good about Star Wars again. And then this one was kind of showing us, like, a big part of it is showing us like the possibilities in this new medium and in the kind of like this new era, et cetera, so forth. Well, let's start going through. We're going to start. So how we're breaking it down is we're going through our, we're going to do character breakdowns. If we think that they're coming back, if we think that they're going to be involved in the finale, et cetera, so forth. And that'll be kind of like how we lead it. So we're going to bring up arguably the most fuckable like side character that we've been introduced into this thus far, Cobb Vanth, aka.
Good. I'm glad you didn't say Grogu, because that'd be weird.
Oh, that would
Shame. Shame. Shame.
But Kyle had the same. I mean, hey,
I got my soundboard ready for you on that one.
At a show that I run, man, you better buckle the fuck up, because you know where this shit's going. But I think that Cobb Vanth, I thought, was like a really cool, interesting, kind of very kind of classic addition into like the Western elements of this show. I think that he's gonna come back in this story at some point. Is he coming back in this finale? What do you guys think?
Nah.
No?
Nah.
You don't think so? Is that a big no? Do you think that he's coming back into the show at all?
I think probably, but I wouldn't. If we never saw him again, I'm actually very comfortable of where we left him.
You know, I mean, like, okay.
Well, no, but he's got his town. He's the marshal or whatever. He's, you know, he killed the dragon.
Sure.
The crate dragon, yeah.
And if we don't revisit him, then he's living in peace somewhere, and then that's good for him.
They've kind of put a beginning, middle, and an end kind of to his story insofar as we kind of know it.
Yeah.
He could come back for you know, that series where
Rangers
for the Ranger series.
Yeah, there's more chance of that happening than the finale.
Yeah,
there's a couple characters that could come in for that one. We'll get it. I'm sure you're going to bring up these characters, but
sure. Oh yeah. Well, I think that the New Republic Rangers is going to soak up like a good amount of of some of the auxiliary human characters and stuff that we have that aren't like the main players. Okay, well, we're going to start. We're rolling in with the next one right here. We're going to start with, apparently I didn't Helen has a crush on this guy, and he had like a pretty big crush following we're talking about Doctor. I mean, I've heard this a bunch from a bunch of different commenters. So they're like, Dr. Pershing can get it, but we're talking about Dr. Pershing, the cutest little Star Wars mangala that you ever fucking seen before. Insofar as like, what do we think? I think that he's definitely going to be in this.
He'll be in the next episode.
Yeah. I think so.
I think it's guaranteed. What do you think is going to happen?
I think we're looking at. I think he's going to defect and be like, they're going to kill this baby Gogurt, and I can't let that happen.
Yeah.
Because I'm a Nazi doctor, but I'm not like that crazy.
And you felt that in season 1, don't you?
Yeah,
in season 1, when he said, "Oh my God, he almost died," and his the transmission they looked at, and he said, he almost died like the other patient. So maybe we should be more careful. You kind of he feels for Grogu, yogurt, whatever he's called on this channel.
Did you just call him yogurt?
Grogut.
I thought you called him yogurt.
He's just yogurt.
Let it be known that as you can, I am full on. You can go between Baby Yoda, the child, Gogurt, Grogu, whatever it is, as long as
baby yogurt.
There you go.
Yogurt worked because he's a baby Yoda basically.
Yeah, baby yogurt, right? Totally, 100%. I mean, but I mean, insofar as I am totally fine with people going in and out of whatever it is that they want to call him, as long as it's like fairly apparent. Unless like you literally named him like Phil or something like that. You know what I mean? Like,
I'll tell you guys where Dr. Pershing is. By the way, he's on Camino. He's on the planet where
Camino proper?
I think that's where the final battle of the season is going to happen. I think Moff Gideon is going there with Baby Yoda right now.
That would be pretty.
That's where they make clones.
That's where they make clones.
Okay.
Yeah,
remember, because he talked about the volunteer, whoever that is. It could be. I don't think it's Moff Gideon. But it's going to be someone that needs Baby Yoda's DNA, and Mando is not going to let that happen. So I think that's where Moff Gideon's headed.
Okay, so we're going to be getting because there has been so much. This is almost similar to Endgame, like where they had all of these. They had like a ton of callbacks to what some people, regardless of whether or not you like the prequels, I think it's not a very controversial opinion to say that Attack of the Clones is potentially the roughest of the three, and so or one of the roughest of the three, but it was the same thing in Endgame. Like, remember how they kept going back to plot points from Thor the Dark World, like what is considered one of the worst MCU movies, which I always thought was hilarious. But that would be because there's been mad Episode 2 callbacks, mad Attack of the Clone callbacks. We had that line of dialogue that Mando had, where he's like, "I'm just a simple man trying to make my way in the galaxy," and stuff. And then with the seismic charge, that everybody was doing that Tim and Eric gif. They were all just going. They were just saying, everybody went fucking wild over it, as they should have, and I completely get that. But that would be interesting, a Camino thing, and then it also, that brings it back to Boba, too, pretty hard. And
do you think they're gonna show up there and it'll just be a sea of Baby Yodas, and then Moff Gideon takes the OG Baby Yoda and hucks him into the pile, and then Mando has to find out which one it is?
He's gotta it's like fighting a needle in a stack of needles,
basically. And he's just picking them up, looking them, and throwing them over his shoulder.
Yeah, yeet.
Right?
Yeah, I don't think that's not gonna happen. I don't think so.
That's what I want, though.
That would be incredible amounts of CGI money. So I don't think that's happening.
They're puppets.
Or they have That's true. You do a bunch of different composites of maybe 15 or 16 different moves, and then you just copy and paste all the way back into infinity. It's possible. It could happen.
I think the thing that we saw in those vats when we last saw Dr. Pershing, me and Helen have discussed this. We think that's Snoke. We both think that's Snoke.
Yeah, we thought that.
We've talked about that a little bit before, where it's they got their pickling Snokes over there, like hard boiled egg in a fucking in an old school bar.
Because we saw on Exegol in The Rise of Skywalker, there was a bunch of where Palpatine was trying to get all of his force back.
Right. I wouldn't. I've become more and more at peace with the fact that they possibly could be working into that. Initially, I'm just no, I don't want it. And even though I do really want the Palpatine and the Skywalker of it all to kind of stay as far away from this show as much as possible, or at least that would be my preference. Maybe I don't know if that's just like if that's just residue from like Rise of Skywalker or whatever it is. But one thing that I can say about our Lord and Savior Filoni and Favreau is that, especially Filoni, he loves like all of Star Wars. Like he loves it warts and all. Like and that's essentially what. That's what the Clone Wars was all about, was about not saying no to that world and that storyline and really trying to make that storyline like really sing and make sense and give it like, I think
they're more filling in the gaps, Sean, like as opposed to like, you know what I mean? Like kind of putting a Band-Aid on some of the stuff, so to speak. You know what I mean?
Oh, no. It's Band-Aid retcon town all motherfucking day long. I mean, like you don't put Darth Maul on a bunch of fucking crazy spider legs and just say that he survived out of pure hatred, unless you're trying to, rectify what is probably a missed opportunity. But insofar as that, like he did not say like no to like that world. Like, I mean, like he really tried to make it like work and give it and kind of coax it to an expression that I think to its fullest expression. I think, let's say. All right.
And one addition to this, if we go to Camino, so we know, that they plan to probably clone. And the thing is, we know Cypher Diaz, ordered these clones like a long time ago. This is what Obi then found out on Camino. And there is a really cool legend story, which is now Legends, but we know Filoni is bringing this back, and we have heard, and Thrawn was teased, right? So there is this old Jedi master, and they could bring him back into lore. And there was a clone of him. His name is Sabalot. I'm probably butchering his name.
Sure.
And it's really cool. And Thrawn is working with him against Han and Leia. And and it's a really cool story. And he's a clone, and we learn that the clones get nuts. So if you clone force sensitive beings, which would Baby Yoda,
right,
would be him, that the chances are really high that they get nuts, right? They're
like psychosis, like
and it's really cool because Thrawn uses him, and kind of they work together against Han and Leia and the New Republic in the Legends one. And I don't know, I have a feeling because he brought so many things. He brought Thrawn back, right, for Clone Wars and Rebels. So I don't know. Thrawn was mentioned. We could see something on Camino besides, because they need to bring in Jedi now. And yes, there's Luke, but there were not that many, and Ashoka, obviously, but there are not that many others left. And I do think they want to bring Jedi in. So I wouldn't be surprised if he was there on Camino. So
that would kind of play into what Morgan was talking about before. It's just like where we get just like a bunch of like they tried to clone Baby Yodas and they're all going crazy. Like
this is what
they're all messed up.
One flew over the Grogu's nest. Like hanging out. It's like you're locked up in here just like a bunch of the other animals. You're no crazier than the next Jedi, or whatever the fuck it is.
Little tiny straight jackets.
Well, the thing is,
tiny Baby Yoda.
We've gotten the time.
Lightning force everywhere. They're going nuts.
I mean, look at how much energy Baby Yoda put out. He contacted someone.
Yes,
yeah.
He did.
Yeah.
Whether it's dark side or light side.
True.
Right.
I think the Thrawn of it all feels like that was just thrown in for the backdoor Ahsoka show. Honestly,
the
backdoor Ahsoka show.
Hey-o.
Sign me up.
Rosario Dawson, we could be doing a lot, motherfucking
Disney After Dark.
Homie.
Right.
Yeah, like they won't have enough time to explore that on the Mandalorian because they have the Mandalorian's plot points, and that's why they did that big announcement to say, "Hey, we're gonna explore some of these."
We got all this other stuff going. Well, let's talk about them real quick. It's like since we just kind of got into it, the Jedi. Like even though
Who is he, she, they?
Who is he, she, they? What are they doing? Do you think that? Because some people have said like, you know what? We're not gonna get whatever Jedi possibly was contacted. I think it's gonna happen. I think it's a very good chance, at least 75% chance that's gonna happen.
I'll throw mine out because it's the craziest. I think we're getting Force Ghost Yoda.
What?
That would be interesting. That could be interesting. Well, because like we've also seen, like he's, he came back in Last Jedi. He even like did like a whole thing where he conjured up lightning and shit and fucking roasted.
I think it's gonna be like the most brief thing. It's gonna be like such a tease. I don't think it's gonna be a huge thing.
That would be interesting. And then they start playing like just the two of us, like or whatever. They start doing like a thing with that. That would be
and wouldn't it be interesting if that happened if Grogu found his first words after that?
I think that's something that we will get into once we get to it.
Are we gonna conjecture what his first word is?
Where's mom? Where's Yeddle?
Or dad.
Mando.
Right.
It could be either Mando or dad.
I think the most likely is Luke Skywalker, probably though.
Yeah, because during that time he is literally looking for Jedi for his academy, so it would make sense. But I just want Mace. Somebody in the chat, yes.
Mace would be cool. Are we? Okay, here's the question: if we get Luke, is it going to be Sebastian fan service, Luke, or are we going to get de-aged Mark Hamill?
It would be interesting because we talked about when Sean came on. We talked about the Jon Favreau connection. Sebastian Stan, obviously, Winter Soldier, Falcon's coming out in a few months. The Marvel connection there. So I mean, the fact that we see that a lot with like Leonardo DiCaprio and Christopher Nolan movies and shit like that. So they could bring him in as a talent since they have a connection. But I don't know.
They already got his info in HR. Like they just got to fucking drop like another contract and get him go. You know what I mean? Like he's already on the lot. You know what I mean? As far as Disney goes, I mean,
he's just been chilling in Wakanda. He's not like he's doing anything.
Right? Yeah, I do think if they bring him in just for a very short time, they can de-age Luke. They can de-age Mark Hamill. I think if it's literally just a short cameo, they will do that. If they want him to come back during season 3, whatever, they will cast a new one.
Yeah, I think that and we also in Rise of Skywalker we had a very brief hyper de-aged like post Return of the Jedi Mark Hamill for just a second. So they've built that 3D model. That exists, and they can.
Star Wars fans are super particular too. After all the goodwill that was kind of burnt, like we've burned some of the goodwill back with the Mandalorian. I think with the fandom, I don't necessarily know if they would want to change from Mark Hamill. However, they have surprised a lot of people with the Rosario Dawson and all of that. So, I think that whatever they do, I feel confident that Filoni and Favreau know what the hell they're doing at least. You know what I mean?
They gotta.
Go ahead. But what what I feel is they want to literally do better than they did with the sequels now, and I feel like because Mark's story was that what hurt so many people, the older generation who loved the OG movies, right? And because everybody was like, this is not my Luke. And I think this is what I feel like Filoni does a lot. Like he wants to retcon those movies. And that would mean he brings back Hamill just to give him his, to give him like peace and to give him his I don't know, the Luke and the spirit of Luke back. I think that would be.
And Filoni is a George Lucas apprentice. He's his apprentice.
For sure. Yeah, I think that's fair. I think that, I my whole thing, like the one that I'm betting on is that basically what's going to happen is we get essentially a Luke version of Rogue One, kind of, where he comes in, helps out to a large degree, talks with Grogu for just a second, and then Grogu's like, you know what? This whole Jedi shit kind of stresses me out. I don't know if I'm really into it. You know what I mean? So I think I'm going to leave. I think I'm going to leave it lay. And then that kind of, it's one way that you are able to insert Luke and then he just can leave because the Force has to go as
Din's his dad anyways. Din's doing most of the fathering, which is actually training anyways, right? You know what I mean? Like teaching.
For sure. I mean, and so I think that he does. Because otherwise, I think that, because the Force, at least in the canon, has to go to sleep and then has to be awakened eventually. And if you have like a baby, like a super powerful Yoda, species, kid running around, that doesn't quite clock. Not to say that Star Wars has ever been anything but inconsistent, about a bunch of different things, obviously. But I think that's something that's in the cards
Well, last live stream, Maddie reminded me that like the movie is called The Force Awakens.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, we can't have the Mandalorian being like gangbusters with Force usage, because doesn't the Force go away at some point?
Yeah, or it's definitely waning to a very large degree. You know what I mean?
Like, if there's like the most powerful Force guy exists.
Yeah.
Like this little tiny baby that's only going to get stronger. I'm like,
only going to get stronger, and it's going to outlast everything in the sequels because he's still got like 900 fucking years. You know what I mean? You
know what could be really interesting about this though is they did so the Ahsoka episode was really interesting for a few reasons. Mm-hmm. Why is she looking for Grand Admiral Thrawn is the question.
Oh,
and right, it's Ezra Bridger, right? And that would be an interesting connection if he was the one. I see a lot of people pointing him out in chat, and there were some rumors that he was cast for season 2. And we were promised. I actually don't think we're going to get Ahsoka back again this season. And we were promised a lightsaber battle by Giancarlo Esposito for season 2.
Still missing, and that's still missing.
So for the Thrawn mention, Ezra Bridger from Clone Wars, I could see him pop up because then you introduce him, and you have the Ahsoka show, and then that's a perfect introduction at the end of the season. And I guess I'll just throw it out there. Grand Admiral Thrawn just shows up like Thanos in the last shot of the season. Boom.
I can see that. That could happen, I think.
But what I thought, Kyle, is they didn't say lightsaber fight. He said he destroyed his darksaber. So it could be because, he has a spear now, the Beskar spear, and we know what that can do.
Yeah, that's true.
Lightsaber. So he can... So... That's my guess, because why would they why would they put in this spear? It must be.
And the Mando was reluctant to take it.
Right.
Yeah.
We know that it's a spear that can cross. It can cross blades
Chekhov's
with the lightsaber.
Yeah.
It's Chekhov's spear, my dude. And so I think that I think it's going to come into play in some form, whether or not it ends up with Mando or. Who the next person that we're going to start talking about, Bo-Katan, who I think is going to be a big part of this finale. I think, and we've been saying this for a couple of episodes, but what do we think is going to be happening in that regard? But before we get into it, one of our Bo-Katans who's always swooping in and making the chat cool. Shout out to April B. Thanks again. You're sending tribute to honor the most legendary Jedi tribute. Morgan's hair.
Thank you. Thanks to my stepdad who gave me money so I could finally deal with all of this. I had some crazy pandemic hair going on, so
good work, Kenny.
To Kenny, but thank you so much.
And you have the both the light side, the both like type of the most popular light side lightsaber colors. You got the blue and the green. You know what I mean? So you got a lot.
Shit! I just noticed that. I'm half blind.
Was totally on purpose.
Clearly on the light right. Clearly on the light side of the Force. But so Bo-Katan, what's going on with our girl and everything that she's got going on coming into this finale? What do you guys think?
Mando needs a Force. Like he needs. I mean, he's got a part of a squad, but he needs a squad.
He needs an army, kind of. In a way.
And also she's got guns.
She's got a
lot of guns.
And she's got the ship and everything now.
Yeah, exactly. Right. I've said it a bunch of times on a bunch of different of our live streams, like where and when, because obviously you need a Force that's going to be able to counteract the dark troopers and shit. Like it's going to it's going to counteract the dark side Rock'em Sock'em robots, which is what they kind of reminded me of.
They do actually kind of look like them. Yeah, they look a little stiff. Yeah,
a little something. You know what I mean? Like, but you're gonna need to ante up on that, and I think that we're gonna have a very kind of like, what do you call it? The Knights of the Vale type of a moment, I think, with the the clan creeds and everybody. I'm not like, do we know what does her like kind of group have like a name? I know it's not. Is it Death Watch or it's not Death Watch?
Night Owls.
Oh, it's the Night Owls. That's right.
Yeah, Death Watch is the group that Mando got his religious zealotry in his brain from.
Yeah, those were the ones who were banned from Mandalore before Mandalore.
And the Armorer is part of that group, actually, which is
100%.
interesting.
Yeah, this is my question. Does the group of the armorer and the fat Mandalorian, played by Filoni? No, who was that? No,
It was Favreau.
That was Favreau.
Yeah.
The Gatling gun, one,
With the dad bod. Yeah, dad bods are back, people.
Fat Mando Favreau.
It is a little bit though. Hey, I'm all about that kind of. I mean, like again, it was. I was thinking when, like, especially when Boba Fett showed up, he's kind of got the dad bod going. The same thing with Favreau's character and a bunch of others. There's just it was like there's a collective sigh of relief from a bunch of cosplayers.
Yeah.
They're like,
just like, oh my god, I can do it, and I don't have to be fucking absolutely jacked like this fucking weird model.
Yeah, by the way, if cons happen next year, Mandalorian's going to be one of all these different costumes. They won awards in the first season for costume design.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Shout out to Gabe. It would be interesting for a Darksider to find Grogu first, like an ex-Inquisitor, and leave the Mando and leave the Mando squad needing help.
Well, that already happened because who took Grogu from Coruscant after Anakin killed all the Jedi?
Well, yeah. I mean, somebody had a really.
Frig, man, I knew it.
New angle. I think. I mean, like again, as we've seen, you got to kind of bring it. You do have to, even if somebody gets cut in fucking half, you can't write them off. I mean, like unless there's like head on a spike. We literally watch a time lapse video of their body decaying and turning into dust. Like you cannot confirm if they are, and even then they could come back as a fucking Force ghost and like have like a cup of coffee with you. I mean, like like they're never out of the mix necessarily. I mean, like, and even if you're not a fucking Force user, Han Solo shows up. He doesn't know fucking dick about diddly from doing the Force and being a fucking Force ghost. You know what I mean? So you can get him. You can get him back in there. I think that would be.
He was a love ghost.
He was a love ghost. The love ghost, like the love
ghost.
The love ghost.
I'm with that for sure.
So question to the panel now. Let me ask this to all of you. Take over here for a second. You guys think the Bo-Katan's going to come in and save the day, and then Moff Gideon's going to be defeated?
Not defeated, because I need him for season 3, because I need him fleshed out before we kill him. Like I need to know what he has for breakfast, what his relationship with his dad was, and then we kill him.
Right?
Is he a serial person?
I'll wait. Be bested for the moment, kind of like last. I don't know.
I'm going to wait to drop my theory until we get to the Moff Gideon part, then, because I don't.
I think I know. I think I've heard you kind of just sprinkle like a little bit of it before, but yeah, that is an interesting. That's a very. But no, we should talk. I think that'll. We'll go to Moff Gideon after this one, so we can sort of bridge it, Kyle. So. Because what do you think is going to happen? Because I feel like you got an outlier theory about Bo. What's that? Or is it about? Oh, well, wait, no, sorry. I thought you were leaning in. I can't remember.
No, I have an outlier theory about Moff Gideon and what happens with him.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
I think
Helen's all about Bo-Katan, though.
What you got?
Yeah, so I do think, no, my theory is that there will be a new war for Mandalore, because remember what she said, right? She said, don't trust what they're telling you, because we know nobody can go back to Mandalore because it was literally destroyed. It's not inhabited at the moment. You can't go back there. This is, the feeling of we lost our planet. Right. We are these Mandalorians now. But she said, don't believe the propaganda, right? And I really do think there will be, because how do you become the Mandalore? You and get the Darksaber. You have to fight for it, right? So I do think she will fight Gideon for it. I do think somehow somebody else will get this lightsaber. I do think it's Jin, and then I really think that these fractions, the Night Owls and the fraction of the Armorer and all these, they will fight for it. And I
Civil War,
a new Mandalorian civil war. Yeah,
interesting.
I can see that happening on both sides, because we got Thrawn mentioned, and I don't think him and Gideon are gonna share the spotlight. I mean, you know what I mean?
This is what I said. I think Thrawn is the bigger fish, but as we just talked about, I think we now need to flesh out Gideon a bit more because we don't really know anything about him, and he's such a cool character. So
there's no way they picked Giancarlo just to put him in 3 episodes, right?
Right.
But there's always a bigger fish, I don't think he is the biggest baddie in this. I think for season 3, 4, we will learn of a bit.
You could see him as like a Vader type, and then Thrawn could be like the Emperor type, or he could be like a Tarkin type, and then then Thrawn's the Emperor type. I think that's well said. Again, and shout out to April, throw it in. First of all, I automatically trust Helen's judgment because her voice is magnetic. Period. End of story. And so I mean, like I figure
I hear the same thing all the time as her co-host.
She's just like she gives us gravitas.
Exactly.
We're over here making dick and fart jokes, and she's over here like dropping mad knowledge.
Swirling wine,
looking very poised, and we're over here like, hey, you guys.
Yeah, right.
Star Wars,
right? I mean, like but that's the coolest thing about the coolest thing about Star Wars is the fact that like I think you can have all of those types of things coming into it. But again, I mean both the bottom half right here as far as like research, like throwing out some really interesting stuff and kind of backing it up with like a bunch of knowledge and shit like that. They're kicking the top tier up here.
You lift us up where we belong.
There we go. Hell yeah, I'm into it. But
Helen's the brains of the operation. By the way, there.
Clearly, yeah.
I'm trying to.
Okay, so let's go. Do you guys here? All right. Well, we were just talking about him.
Because some people in chat are like, "Oh, Kyle, you're teasing us." Some people in chat were like, "Well, what's going to happen to Moff Gideon?" And I said, "I'll tell you later." And they're just like, "You're a dick for not telling us."
No. We're queuing it up. So there's no here we go. We're talking about old mothballs Gideon over there. Fucking air that motherfucker. Oh, again, we got to shout out because we had somebody send us a little bit of fucking fan art that I was loving. There's the man right there because we need to take him out of the closet and fucking air his ass out and get him ready for the winter because I just want to know more about this guy. There are so many things about his operation and just who he is that I really want to know about. Was something going on in the chat that's fun? No? Okay, sorry. So Gideon, what do we think's happening insofar as where the end game for this season is headed? What do we think's going on?
Are you guys asking me first? Mine's probably the craziest. You guys go first.
Okay.
Hold on. I'm gonna pour myself another drink. We get ready for this.
Let's get ready for it. No, I mean, like I think
hang
like
on to your butts.
I think like a very kind
of Windu?
I'll go kind of the No, it's like I think we got to get I'll give kind of a more of a basic kind of boilerplate sort of read on it first, and then we can kind of we can go to fucking Kyle Crazy Town over there, which I'm very stoked to do. So. No, I'm into it, man. So I'm thinking, yeah, I mean, like he basically also like not the best like kind of strategy to just unless it's a misdirect. Obviously, he like calls him up and lets him know that he's coming, which I think was not that smart. So he's going to be ready. He's going to have the dark troopers are going to be like ready to go, and he's going to be like basically poised and ready for battle. I think that we're going to have like a fight, a very physical fight. I think that we are going to get probably. I'm hoping we get the strongest characterization of him thus far, and I think that it's possible. If they asked me, Sean, pitch us what happens like right now. Where do we take this thing? I think that if we're going to keep him around, unless we kill him off, which I don't feel like we're going to. I mean, like now that we know that Thrawn probably isn't going to be like the main antagonist for like future seasons and stuff. Maybe down the line, but not like. A to B, etc. I think that he is going to be maimed in some way by Grogu. I think that Grogu potentially could he's been kind of flying pretty close to the sun. He like kind of holds the guys off and lets Grogu fuck up these stormtroopers, like right in front of him. I think that he's gonna get burned by this in a big way, and it's going to kind of make him that much more driven, that much more hate filled. Like it's gonna have like, and which will be good because again, he's talked about how Grogu means more to him than he means. It means more to me than you could ever know. Why? We don't know. I mean, and so I
think he is do you think he is force sensitive? Though, did you have the feeling when he held the dark saber? Did you feel like, is he force sensitive with Gideon? Does he want to become force sensitive with the blood?
Yeah, when he popped up the dark saber, it was almost as if he said. I think he said something like, you don't happen to recognize this?
Yeah.
I think like something from Days Long Past or whatever. I mean, like
from the Jedi Temple, he must have seen lightsabers.
I think it's one of those things where I think that it would be interesting if Gideon, he's very fascinated by force sensitive people. I think that he's like, I want some of that. I need a little some of this right here. I mean, like, like he probably in his mind thinks like, if Vader and fucking Palpatine weren't fucking hogging all the fucking force powers and stuff like that, if we had figured out a way to democratize it amongst like troops and stuff, we might not have lost, the Battle of Endor. You know what I mean? Like, and so I that's a possible bit of kind of, or that's a possible realm of motivation that it could have. Again, I have to speculate because I have absolutely no fucking clue. And so insofar as that would be how I would kind of go with it, kind of given what we've had. But yeah, I think I don't know if he's force sensitive though. I don't know if I get that read.
Someone in our chat or something. I know I read it. Not my idea. Somebody was like, they thought that he was the one that took Grogu from the temple.
I remember that.
And I was like, what? Holy shit.
That could be an interesting
thing. Well, he knows him.
Hold on. What's up?
Well, okay. Here's the interesting thing, because when Ahsoka was having the conversation with Din, was like his memory went dark, and then Moff Gideon was like, wait, and let Grogu do the thing he did to the stormtroopers. Could Grogu have been trained by a Sith is my question, because his mind went dark. I think I don't know if the Palpatine is strong enough by then, because we know he's
not. He's a wreck.
I mean, was Grogu trained by a Sith is the question, because I think he was.
Would Ahsoka have noted that?
Right. Or he would have been
think she would have sensed that.
Maybe.
But the way he treated the stormtroopers in that room,
It's like he let it happen because he wanted Baby Yoda to reinvigorate that part of himself. Is what I'm saying.
And it's
the sleeper agent.
Yeah, Adrian Flores is the person in the chat that said it suggested Moff escaped as a Padawan and took Grogu with him.
Okay.
Just giving credit where credit's due in one of our chat folks.
There we go. Hell yeah. Right on. Fuck yeah, Adrian. Thank you very much. No, I mean,
which Sith is the question, but yeah, that's I do think that there's a possibility of maybe, if not Moff, like another Padawan or somebody like he definitely knows how to force choke people.
Yeah, that's true.
Like I've seen some people bring up Anakin, but then that's like, no, that doesn't make sense. I'm like, I don't know.
Like there's too much. I think Anakin had too many fucking kind of balls in the air as far as like.
Okay, just one thing about Anakin. Listen, and because this is also, I do think canon now. So Yaddle, probably the mom, we don't know, Jerry Springer or whatever that guy's name is, didn't ask. Yeah, who's the father? But so let's say she's the mother, right? The thing is, Yaddle once saved Anakin, and she literally died saving Anakin's life.
Oh wow!
It's legend. It's not canon, I think.
Sure.
And she died saving Anakin's life. So maybe when he was in the temple killing all the younglings, he was like, oh, this is Yaddle's baby. Maybe I'm not going to kill him and bring him to an inquisitor or save him for the emperor or whatever,
Inquisitor is interesting too.
Yeah. that could be, and just saying that could be an idea, because Yaddle saved his life. He remembered that because he wasn't fully Darth Vader at that time when he went to the temple, right? He was still Anakin. So could
he was still dating around with the light and the dark side at that point. Yeah, for sure. Huh.
Yeah. Although the eyes became red, I do think, in the temple.
Yeah, I think right around the time that he was killing the kids, he was killing the younglings and shit. Like that'll turn your eyes red. I mean, like, I feel like if there's anything,
maybe he's just really high.
but before
he's just real smoking that before just wasting motherfuckers.
Before I drop my bomb, I want to ask you guys, what's the percentage chance you think that Baby Yoda doesn't get saved this season?
Oh, that he still remains with it in captivity. You know what? That would be a kick-ass twist. And I think that maybe I would say, just insofar as, hopefully, if you're thinking about like a vibrant writer's room where they're kind of considering all types of angles, I'd say 25%. I'd say there's maybe 1 out of 4 chance that
I'm gonna kick it up to 40%.
No shit. Oh, there we go. We got over under 60-40.
Helen, what would be your percentage?
Yeah, 40 as well.
Ooh,
all right.
Okay.
All right. I'm going to draw my theory now. The reason why I think this is going to happen is at the end of season 1, the very last scene, Moff Gideon was defeated and he was cutting himself out. Okay. Think of Game of Thrones, Ice, Fire. You know how they alternated each season? There was kind of like a victory, non-victory. You know what I mean? Good guys, bad guys. They're doing anyways. So let me toss out why I think this is going to happen. I think Moff Gideon, when they show up to fight him, I think he's going to have a Beskar steel Darth Vader-like suit. And because he knows they're coming. All right. And I think that the armorer from the Death Watch made it, because I think the Darksaber is like the Iron Throne, and I think Moff Gideon is going to convince the people that are out. I think he's convinced the faction of the Mandalorians that he's going to restore Mandalore. Okay, because I think Moff Gideon was actually. Because remember when Din Djarin has all those flashbacks, and his mother and father were not part of the Death Watch; they were part of the pacifist group of the Mandalorian. So I think, and Moff Gideon, when he shows up, he knows Din by name. He goes Din Djarin, and he's like the intel officer.
That is very interesting. He knows a lot about him.
So I think that Moff Gideon knows more about Din than Din knows about himself. And I like the spear symbolism and all of that. Like the spear symbolism is a phallic symbol, funny enough, like it represents male, the divine male, him accepting it from Ahsoka but I mean, just with the Dark Trooper stuff and him, I don't know. There's just part of me that thinks that there's a possibility that we're really, really underestimating Moff Gideon, because if let's say they do go Moff Gideon, what is he going to do? I guess I like the main thing. The only person I think that could take down Moff Gideon, I think, is Grogu. I honestly think at the end of the season, and that would make sense and put a puncture in my theory, I guess, because he shares a connection with Mando, and he would really get pissed off considering he thinks of Mando as a father. So I'm kind of really on the fence. That's kind of my fringe theory on what I'm like 50-50 on it. Because
it's not bad. I could back
and let's say they don't save Baby Yoda, and Mando finds out the armorer made that suit of armor. I think he takes off his helmet after that, and I think he's done. So I think that's where I'm going with it. I think Mando's going to take off his helmet if he kind of fails, because I think because if he sees the Beskar steel armor, then he's going to know armor made it from Moff Gideon. You know what I mean? So I think there's something going on there. I think the armor is less good than we think. I think the Death Watch, like Helen said, Helen's convinced me that there's going to be a civil war. So I think that there's kind of more. Bo-Katan might not be as in line with what Mando wants. She wants the Darksaber. She wants power. So I think that Mando might be shit out of luck in the finale.
You're claiming like he's disillusioned with the Mandalorian culture, essentially?
Well, yeah, I mean.
Okay, those are the cult faction of the Mandalorians. Yeah. And how, with that whole, we don't show our faces, how does the Darksaber, is that like a thing where it's like, but then wouldn't Din, when he saw the Darksaber, did he see the Darksaber?
I don't think he really knows about it.
Because if he knows about it, wouldn't he be like, Oh, you have it. You're my king. Isn't
must.
that like
yeah, this is a legend. This is a Mandalorian legend. So there was the first Mandalorian Jedi. It's a Mandalore the Ultimate, and he was the first Mandalorian Jedi. Mandalore and the Republic were always at war, but then there was this Mandalore the Ultimate with the Darksaber, and if you hold the Darksaber, it's like the Arthurian legend. It's like Excalibur. You then reunite Mandalore, and everybody fights for you. So
it's like Lightbringer for Azor Ahai. Same shit.
Or like the Conch in Lord of the Flies.
I'm actually going to steal this from Helen. I'm actually going to steal this from Helen because she was the one that mentioned this, but she said that, I mean, Bo-Katan is royalty. Imagine, I mean, you know what I mean? Din Djarin is a simple peasant, if we really think about it.
Oh, yeah.
So I think there's all these hierarchies, these things that we haven't considered. I mean, the chances are the finale is going to be an hour long. We're going to see more. And I just think there's a possibility. And just because of Moff Gideon losing in the last finale and Giancarlo Esposito being such a great actor, I think that there's a possibility that they're much more powerful than we think. And them throwing Thrawn out there could be a little bit of a herring because Moff Gideon could be the main antagonist for the whole series of The Mandalorian, and Thrawn could just be the thing for Ahsoka. So I think that we got to consider that.
They would be foolish to yeet him the fuck out of this story and not have him kind of flex the kind of bad guy muscle that we know that this guy can and is very capable of doing. I mean, like it just doesn't make any sense other than to just make us all just assume that everybody's seen Breaking Bad and we're just like, it's Gus.
I think Moff Gideon's gonna kill a major character in the finale.
I mean, it's pot.
I'm not sure if it's Bo. I think it. I don't. We might be. Moff Gideon's gonna kill Grief Karga in the finale. I think.
Okay.
Wow.
Wow.
But I can see it.
I think somebody will die. I don't know.
He's gonna kill one of his group. He's gonna kill one of the Mando's group. I think.
Okay. What were you saying, Helen?
Somebody in the chat. It was Adrian Flores. Oh God!
Adrian's coming with fire today.
Yeah. Now wait, just 1 second, because she said something about. Maybe Paz Vizsla will become more important. Maybe he will also want the Darksaber since he has a connection to it. Exactly. Because this is what I said. The Vizsla clan. Mandalore is everything about clans. This is what I said. When Kyle said, Bo-Katan is royalty. There are very high up clans in Mandalore, and then and she was a bit snobby, telling him, "Oh yeah, you have no idea who I am." You had that feeling when they talked, right? Because he said, "Oh, who are you?" And she's like, "Bitch, I'm royalty."
Katie Sackhoff is perfect for that shit, by the way.
Yeah. And it was really cool. And this is what Adrian says. Paz Vizsla is from Vizsla clan, and they are very high up in that hierarchy, and they had the Darksaber. So that could really become, and this plays exactly into this Mandalore war. And listen, people, the show is called The Mandalorian. One day they have to go back to Mandalore, right? Bo-Katan said, "Don't trust the propaganda. Mandalore is still inhabitable, and let's go back. Let's fight for Mandalore."
There's a much bigger connection between Din Djarin and Moff Gideon than we know. That's all I'm saying.
I think that it would be, because otherwise, then why would they make it so? I think
it's personal. It's like something personal.
Well, He did also know everybody's backstory. He knew he knew Cara Dune's fucking backstory. He knew Grief Karga's backstory. So maybe it was just kind of
he's the intel like CIA officer.
He's that type of dude, 100%. So I don't know. Like I think that could definitely be in the mix. I don't know if this show is that sophisticated and complex yet. I don't know if this show. I mean, I think they're getting there. I think that even this last episode, all this stuff about, all of the cool kind of backstory and kind of the more
Operation Cinder and stuff like that.
I think all that stuff, they're kind of inching over to there. I don't know if this show is that that intricate and like not kiddie like yet. You know what I mean? Like insofar as straight up. Like I don't know if they're quite there yet. But I do think that there's definitely there's footprints in that footprints in that snow as far as what you're talking about. So I think there's definitely some good clues over there.
Can I shame Gabe right now for his last donation?
Yes, please do.
What's that? What?
Gideon is his father, and they're both Skywalkers. You get the fuck out of town, Gabe.
No. Because they didn't miss that opportunity when it's like, when fucking Richard Brake came up and he was like, "What's your name, soldier?" And he goes like, Din Skywalker.
Gabe, you're getting fucking coal in your stocking for Christmas, bro. After that shit.
Star Wars is a family saga. It's about fathers and sons.
It is.
Right?
Sure.
But I definitely want it to be less so.
That's why I say the connection is between them. Like Moff Gideon, remember the Siege of Mandalore? Did he have something to do with that? That's what I'm. All of Din's flashbacks. Something's off there. I don't know. It's just a gut feeling.
We need some more. I think if they are going to build that, we need to see that. And I think that maybe the next episode would be an opportunity for that. Shout out to Marcus Reeves. Bo-Katan witnessed Operation Black Saber. Heard about first in Rogue One and is the Imperial operation that ravaged Mandalore. It was something that, so they very specifically were like, we're going to decimate Mandalore and capture. Yeah. Is it one of those things where because they know about its importance, they're like, if we can take away the Darksaber from the Mandalorians, it'll cause so much infighting that we'll be able to take them over easier. That kind of makes sense. Maybe. It would almost be like it'd be like if you took King's Landing and the Iron Throne completely off the map and be like, who's king?
Are you saying that actual Operation Saber was just stealing the saber and then they just fought amongst each other?
It could have been. I don't know if
that would be horrifying.
Because how did he get that shit, right? How did he get the fucking saber, man?
Shout out to Marcus, who's been killing it on our live chats lately.
That's true.
You've been every week you've been coming with fire. I'm real excited. We're a couple weeks in, and I know Kyle, you have some really strong fans too, but we've got some awesome commenters. You guys are really
The chat is always fire.
Cool
the chat is always bringing up stuff that it's always bringing up things that are not in my periphery that I think are.
Well, they could become my commenters if they subscribe. Sorry.
And at the Clueless Fangirl, get on those.
Shameless.
Pages. Absolutely. Oh, dude. Absolutely. I mean, come on. What are we talking about here? That's why
I don't do Star Wars. I just took Lord of the Rings. Very nerdy stuff.
Before we go on, I am so excited when that comes out. I am gonna watch the shit out of your content because I've been watching it already, and I am so excited. I'm a fantasy guy through and through, so that's me.
You're my fantasy.
Watch out! We watch it there.
He's not even boozing, ladies and gentlemen.
The new show will be very high fantasy. It's about the forging of the rings. It will be epic.
Right. Well, Helen, I don't think, even though I will say, Helen, I think that there is just a teensy bit of crossover between Lord of the Rings fans and Star Wars fans. I'm just going to go out on a limb
just a couple
and say that. Yeah, I think that if you are into Lord of the Rings and Lord of the Rings lore, that is Helen's house. That is where she lives, is to fucking do content about that stuff. So go head on over and check her channel. And then if you're talking gaming, if you're talking Marvel stuff, if you're talking The Witcher and all that good shit, that's the zone that you hit up right down here with Kyle over there at Fundomedia. So run over to all of their respective channels and shit. Absolutely. But April B, all I know is
another all-star. April.
April.
We see you.
Oh my god, absolutely. Thank you so much, girl. All I know is that Giancarlo better have a full fucking soliloquy in the finale. Let that man talk his shit. And I'm very much here for that.
Co-sign.
Yeah, I again, why do we hire him unless we're gonna let him I want to see him earn the paycheck, because I will say this has been some of the easiest fucking money that Giancarlo has ever made, as well he should at this point. I want to see him exert himself and really come onto the stage of the show. If they do kill him, it will be the highest tier Boba Fetting, Captain Phasmaing of a fucking supposed.
By the way, is that the spear that Captain Phasma has later on? That Beskar steel by that spear? Remember, she has that.
Well, no, I don't think it is, because she has one where it's almost it's like a police baton.
Yeah.
Comes out a little bit. So I don't think don't know if it's necessarily that one, but it definitely is like kind of evocative of that. We just talked about them. Let's get into it. Let's talk about the fucking Boba and Fennec of it all, and where we think they're going in this thing. Okay, I'm gonna throw something out. I think it'd be a mistake because I think that there's a lot more, and there's a lot more that I want to see done with this character. I think it's very probable that Boba dies. I think
I think so.
No, I'm not saying that I like it. I'm not saying that I want it to happen. I'm just saying that like we blew up old dude's ship. We've kind of retconned Boba into more of the traditionally extended universe, like he's more of an anti-hero in this, now that we've kind of brought him back than he was, than we've known him to be, I think, throughout most of the story. And, he's quested, I'm going to get your kid back. I'm thinking not to pull not to play to the crowd or whatever, but I'm thinking possible Boromir-esque moment where Mando eats it in order and helps save that's as high.
Just like a slow-mo scene of him just.
So you don't
like
think
constantly getting shot by blasters,
shooting all of the fucking knee rockets and all that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that I don't know. I think that that is as high up as the killing off of a character meter can possibly go for this finale. I don't know if it'll happen, but it to me it's in the cards.
There are still more toys to be sold, my man.
That's true.
I don't know.
But the Mando doesn't have the Razor Crest anymore, and I think he gets Slave
you don't
One.
have to kill somebody to give him a ship.
I will be so sad. That's why I want Boba to live, is because I want Mando to go back to Amy Sedaris and rebuild.
Yes.
Because I want that Ovarian 1 back, because it was like female representation in a ship form.
It does look like ovaries.
It does, and ovaries are very powerful. Finally. With all the phallic symbols, we finally got the power of ovaries. I was into it.
Right.
Ovaries riding through the universe.
Right?
Hell yeah.
But boys and girls, don't you think that Boba is turning on them? This is what I think. I don't think he will die. I literally think he will turn on them, and then Din takes his ship and whatever. I want Boba to be a legend, living his best life somewhere in the galaxy, but he will be alive. But I do think he will turn on them. I don't think Boba's a good guy all of a sudden. How boring is that?
No. I that's more character consistent. I like that. I mean, like, what if he like? Oh, that would be crazy. Okay, check the scene out. So they are able to get Grogu away from him. He hands Grogu to Din, and he goes like, and now our deal is done. And then he pulls a gun and shoots him and then takes off or does something. You know what I mean? Like, he's got to follow it to the letter of the law.
I don't know. Why would they do that whole him explaining about... He explained his whole story about his father through that Django was a foundling and shit. I felt that was like a heart-to-heart.
He's trying to be best friends. Like, no, we're cool, man.
Right. Go ahead.
I do think he will turn on them. Boba was never a good guy. I don't think it would be so boring, and I really do think that I think he maybe is double agenting this thingy. And Fennec, we learned Fennec in the new show, in that animated show. It was it was confirmed today that she's in that show. Her character,
the Bad Batch. Yeah,
the Bad Batch. I think she's less trustworthy than Boba, so that makes me think that you could be on to something.
Also somebody else shouted out, because like they also sort of have created a relationship of sorts. It's more hinted at, I think, than anything, but like that Boba and Fennec have like they're sharing the story, their own story in some way,
partnership.
Yeah, and so like and so I think that there is a possibility. Like somebody was saying, they're more team Fennec is the one that possibly gets shot, which would be a bummer.
No, I like her. I want her to stick around.
No. Well, I mean, and then that kind of means that they basically would fridge Fennec and make Boba, which I think would be like not. It would definitely clock as like well, that's a typical fucking move. I don't know. I just think that they have they had this amazing fucking welcome back party with Boba in episode 6. And so I think that even though I can absolutely see where you're going with that, Helen. I don't know. I feel like they're thinking of all those fucking kids that grew up watching episode 2 and how they want to think of Boba as like more of an anti-hero, of a potentially okay guy. I like the heel turn. I would think that would be very interesting if he broke bad and kind of
that would create another problem for future seasons, maybe. You know what I mean?
I think if Boba did turn, it would look more like he has big little Grogu, gives him to Boba, and is like, our pact is over, and then he just like, see ya. And they're in the middle of a fight, and he's like, wait, you're not going to help. And he's like, no, I'm a loner. Like, I do my own thing, but
I'm a loner. I'm a loner, a rebel.
I'm a loner. I'm a rebel. And then also Fennec, because she's quested to him.
One thing that's super interesting, too, is Tamura Morrison could play Rex. Yes. I think it was mentioned in chat in Ahsoka series.
Yeah. I think definitely an Ahsoka series. Like, I think that's where we're going to get like a lot more of I think the Ahsoka series is going to soak up a ton of previous kind of Filoni-verse like type of material. And I think it'll be really fucking cool. Shout out to Jay Pin throwing in hi from Spain. Hi Spain. Hi Jay Pin.
Gracias.
Also, for a dog, you're really good at typing.
But he's a cool dog, Morgan.
He's a cool dog. He's not like other dogs.
We forget. Jedi, interesting. We forget a Jedi killed Django. A Jedi entourage put Boba in the Sarlacc.
Ooh, what if he showed up in the finale and Boba saw him? What if this happens?
What if Mace?
What if Mace shows up to save Grogu and Boba gets fucking enraged by it?
Oh no! I think
they show up at the same time, and it's like, oh my god, Mace shows up to save Grogu, and Boba wants to kill Mace, and it's like
that could be the thing. He mentioned his father, right? He mentioned his father. He talked about his father, and who killed his father? Mace, a Jedi.
Beheaded him. He decapitated him
in front of him. He literally picked up the helmet with his dad's cut off head inside of it. And looked at it.
Well, there's a whole thing where he was just like, "Hey, no, look at my history," and Din just like, "Whatever, man." And we're all just like, yeah, we get it. No. He's like, no, look at my little arm hologram. Like, look, I got a story. You know, it's like, again, Chekhov's armor. Like,
there's a little bit of that for sure. I mean, like, insofar as like, I think that there's something to that, Gabe, or it's definitely going to get fucking complicated if and when we get a Jedi that does show, whoever it is. Because also, the other thing is, who fucking like cut his blaster in half and was like a part of knocking him into the Sarlacc pit? If Luke shows up, that's also really problematic. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're all this is sort of getting to like not to keep bringing up Thrones or whatever, but this is getting to like sort of like when everybody's chilling in Winterfell and like
Sansa,
or
Targaryens,
or like Davos is sitting there talking with Tyrion, and Tyrion's like, oh yeah, totally sorry about blowing up like your firstborn son, dude.
All
you know
your
what I mean?
Children.
Like, there's a lot of that type of shit kind of like at play.
Generational trauma.
Yes, yeah. I mean, like, and so far, it's like if the two kind of most high-profile Jedis, Mace Windu being second, I think Luke Skywalker being first. But if they are the ones that show up, they both have bad blood with Django that could possibly inform that turn. So I don't know. Like, maybe I'm getting sold. I'm ticking more and more over.
So last time when I mentioned Mace and you were like, Mofu, that's it.
I was into it. Yeah, no, right, exactly. Or like, oh God, like, then you'd have like the whole, he'd talk to him about his dad, and then we could get like a Time to Kill reference. It's like, yes, Django deserved to die, and I hope he burns in hell. Like we could get all kinds of callbacks and stuff like that. Greetings from the 25th century. You guys rock. Thank you very much to
Hieronymus Fox. Yeah.
I'm not a very good reader. I went to a public school. So we're moving right along over here. We're going to who are we going to talk about now? Who do we got next up? All right, let's get in. She's kind of been bobbing and weaving in and out of our things. Ahsoka. I don't think Ahsoka's going to be in this finale.
No.
I think there is a 5% chance that she shows up.
0.
Maybe a
0.
stinger scene that's like a little preview of her show.
Maybe at best. But I don't think that she's a player. I don't think that
Rosario is big monies as well. She's costly.
That's true. That's true. That's very true. I mean, that was sort of why when she fucking walked off, and she was like, okay, cool, like go, like,
that was the perfect amount of story for her this season, I think, to be honest.
100%. Yeah, and
that's all you need.
And it was all, and from front to back, it was, it basically started with her and almost ended with her. I mean, like, because she got into that episode way before I think any of us anticipated it. I think we thought that it would be like 10, 15-minute mark or whatever.
It was like in 30 minutes of the episode.
Oh, like front to back. I mean, like I was blown away that she was in it as early as she kind of ended up being. You know what I mean? Like, and so, but I thought that was like, yeah. I mean, I think that she was sort of like here's like the quest that you guys are supposed to, or here's like the next part of your adventure. And I think that I think to Kyle's point, they're definitely like, okay, we signed a big ass contract. We're gonna get as much kind of play out of this for her own show as we can, and not necessarily kind of soak up probably as much resources to have her at play within the finale. So I don't think that Ahsoka's coming back. I think that ship has sailed for sure.
Mando is signed on for apparently 5 seasons,
right?
Which is the rumor. So, I mean, she could, and now that they announced these shows, Mando can cross over into another show or whatever. They can kind of do whatever they want now. Creating the Mandalorian Disney universe, or whatever, Star Wars, like the MCU of Disney Plus.
The MEU, the Mandalorian Extended Universe.
That's. I remember you said it last time, and I was like, I thought that was catchy as hell.
It's why it's just I think that, or at least that's what I'm gonna call it. I don't know what the fuck they're gonna fucking call it, but hey.
Yeah.
So let's go on with like our like the one. Let's go. Okay, like let's go with Din Djarin as far as him. Like obviously he's at play. Where do we think that this is going to find him? Do we think that, because clearly I think the last episode was the most kind of character work, I think, and so or like more of a character study of him than anything else, as far as like what he's willing to do, what he's, like the things that he's willing to do, and kind of like the rules that he's willing to bend in order to get Grogu back, which I like a lot. And he kind of has announced himself very pointedly, like, I'm fucking coming for you, dude. Do we think that he's going, I don't think that the helmet's coming off anymore this season. I don't think that that's going to happen, right? Or no?
I mean, unless like you were saying with the Helena, the getting disillusioned with the armorer and just that whole cult side of the Mandalorians in general, maybe he could, but the helmet's just helpful. Right. It's made of Beskar.
It protects your head. Like
I can't see him being like, and also his entire instincts are tied to wearing a helmet. So he's like at his best when he has a helmet on, because he's like muscle memory, and it's like
you can even tell like he was moving like a Batman, like when he was out of it, even when he was out of the helmet,
Yeah, so it's kind of like, I don't know. If he keeps, I think he's going to keep the helmet not for religious reasons, but no, I can see him getting disillusioned with like being Mandalorian religiously and just being like, it's just me and Grogu now, and I don't know, being asked to like either join with Bo-Katan's little group or the Armorer's little group, and him being like,
the biggest thing I think that was a clue into what he's going to do, because I do think he is going to at some point. I think that it could potentially be a 2-for fight, but I think he's going to cross. Because like that whole the kind of caravan attack that was going on in the last season that showed him fighting with a spear, with a staff, was very like, we're illustrating that he can do this type of stuff. So it makes sense when he grabs the Beskar spear and goes at it with Moff Gideon. I think that there's a potentiality for like I think that there's a potentiality for like a kind of a Finn Rey moment, like where he might get bested by Moff and then Bo-Katan picks it up and fights Moff Gideon, because she also has a lot at play and a lot at stake within.
She had the dark saber, right?
Exactly.
At one point.
Yeah. Yes.
So
exactly.
I feel like it's either she's gonna not let anyone else get that dark saber.
No, she's going that. No. She's got her fucking eye on the prize, and I think that she's going to be going after that shit for sure. Yeah. What do you like? Any other thoughts?
We could see a darker side of her essentially because she wants the dark saber.
Yeah, I think it'd be interesting. I mean, like,
and she was part of Death Watch before, right? She was very radical. Like her sister was Duchess Satine, so she was the one who was very, she was, spoiler alert, she was in love with Obi as well. So what is happening there, But the thing is, the sister was a pacifist. She was against war. She didn't want to use weapons. She wanted Mandalore to be peaceful. And then Boca was very, I want to say Boba, Boca was very, no, let's fight for our birthright. So those two sisters really, went full on. But yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah,
man, I would love like him to meet up with some pacifist Mandalorians, and he him being like team pacifist, because he's like learned from like having a son that like life is more important than fighting all the time, and it's like I would love that if it was like the Mandalorian
to that lady,
and then they can like sit around a campfire and tell him his backstory or some shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
for sure. For sure. I mean, like, no, I think that his arc is kind of is coming to a bit of a completion, as in like he has clearly, because up until this point it's like, oh, I gotta get him because the armor character told me that I had to. Now I'm doing it because I want to, and I love this little baby boy. I mean, like, I was thinking though about like, wouldn't it be interesting? It's like, have you guys ever seen those YouTube videos where like a dad who's had a beard almost the entire life of like kids, and they shave the beard, and the kid's like, what the fuck is going on? Like, do you think that Grogu?
And then they cry or some shit.
Cry if he sees his face. He's like, it's okay, it's me.
He's like, oh, sorry. So, like, at least, I mean, like, once you shave a beard, you can't really put it back on, or at least like not very.
It takes a little bit to grow it back. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. It'll take a little minute to grow back, but yeah.
But maybe he's like, my name Din, and then that's Grogu's first words, because remember how he reacts to Grogu, and he goes, ew. He was like,
right. Oh yeah, no, I love that so much. It's like when it was very kind of like, it's like when you have a dog and you say their name and they're just always like or whatever it is, like, I love that shit. That was so fucking cute. Yeah, I mean, shout out to Naomi, another one of our all-star chatters over there. Din has been a great story arc this season to be diehard zealot and then to take off that helmet because Grogu was more important. But yeah, I think that that's kind of come to its completion. I just think that we're just going to kind of see sort of the ultimate expression of that insofar as just what he's willing to do, the lengths that he's willing to go. Him calling up fucking Gideon, unless it's like a misdirect or something, really dumb. like you know what I mean?
Well, I wonder.
Unless it's a misdirect, like, like where he's like, look over here, I'm coming for you, and then he fucking does something.
And then he attacks some base and.
Interesting, yeah. I mean, like for something in that.
But Din's he doesn't strike me as like the greatest. Right now he's kind of emotional. No, I think he's all heart. I think he wears his heart on the sleeve, so he's going to do the take and phone call because it feels good.
You know what? Honestly, like when he took off his helmet, he kind of looked like a bird that didn't know what to do with himself. He didn't kind of know how to react. And Pedro did a phenomenal job, but he's like, I don't want to say emotionally stunted, but he is, because he hasn't really had. I mean, he hasn't had parental figures to show him, like, have this like nurturing. He's been like, this is the whole nature versus nurture argument. He's had more nature have this huge influence on his life, right? Because the Empire did the Siege of Mandalore, and then he had to do like just play within the rules of being in the Death Watch to just survive.
He was fucking adopted by Al Qaeda, basically. I mean, like, you know what I mean? Like, in a certain sense, for real though. I mean, like, you know what I'm saying? That's a hard ass life, and that's gonna really fucking.
If any more words come pouring out the cunt mouth, I'm gonna have to eat every fucking in this room.
I'm looking for that soundboard, dude. Like, the only thing now I know that I got to step my game up because I don't have any other. The only
Kyle is such a slut.
I'm a slut for the soundboard.
The only one that I have is from some of our Avatar: The Last Airbender commercials. Like whenever somebody says, like when you like, I play this when I'm really surprised by something. Like when you said that Moff Gideon theory, I was just like. Like that's the only one that I have, and that makes sense to nobody unless you're a fucking Avatar: The Last Airbender live streamer with us. But yeah, I think that we've already kind of gotten to his arc. Now we're just set up, and we're just gonna kind of see it pay off. You know what I mean? Yeah, I think that's basically where we're going with that character. Sean wants to do drops. I do sometimes, Maria. Sometimes. I'm not gonna be going hog wild with it or nothing. All right. Well, then that brings us to
people. Sean, I'm Grand Admiral. I need to call off duty. I unfortunately
yeah, she's got to go to another stream.
She's in high demand. Well,
no,
we're happy to have had you.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, no, I loved it. Thank you again, guys. I really have catched up on a few of your streams. I love your little group over there. Thank you for having me. And
Helen, we should invite the Drases and Sean. We're having a Christmas Star Wars special on my channel on Tuesday, and we're going to talk about all the new announcements.
I heard that Kyle promised to wear a
we're coming
Leia bikini.
That was Sean, and I come as Jabba the Hutt.
Yeah.
Sean wears the bikini, I come as Jabba.
All right, I'm in.
Right, there we go.
Super in.
Where just do a couple of plugs over there, Helen. Just tell people where they can find you. Where you're going now, if you want to keep hanging out and you want to talk about some other stuff.
Oh yes. So when you guys are finished here, one of my best friends and Carl's friend as well, Robert from Indie Geek. I think a few people who love A Song of Ice and Fire might know him. So Robert has a charity stream tonight, end of the year charity stream. So every donation goes to Child Rescue Organization, which is a really cool refugee organization. And YouTube does a cool thing where the super chats 100% go to those organizations, which is really cool. They don't take their share, yay. It's a good cause, and I am answering Lord of the Ring and Star Wars questions there. And so when you're done, people here, then maybe drop in. It's on Indie Geeks channel, yes. And my channel is The Clueless Fangirl, and I talk a lot of nerdy Lord of the Ring stuff. And it was a pleasure. I really love being here. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Everybody give a royal goodbye to Helen. Helen, before you leave, make sure that you type both of the names of those channels into the chat, and I will put it up.
I'll plug her at the end too. I'll plug. I got her. Yeah,
and we'll see you on the Christmas stream.
Yeah.
I'm Jabba.
All right, bye.
Later, my dear. We'll see you. But anyway, all right. Well, shit. I mean, I think that we're coming up on the final. We're coming up on the final character, at least that I was going to speculate about a little bit, because I didn't bring up Thrawn because we haven't seen him on. I figured that he would come into
passing mention. Yeah,
well, he's a passing mention, and there are a lot of other characters that also tie into him that I figured we would get into some of his backstory. So I didn't get into that, but we have, the star.
We can do Mayfeld as well. I'll throw a little something for him as well.
All right. Well, let's talk about Mayfeld real quick before we get to Grogu. But I'm into it. What do you think? What are you thinking over there? As far as I think that Burr being such a big hit critically, I think is kind of signed him into some other property. What do you think is going to happen?
He's going to be in Rangers of the New Republic, which is going to be Cara Dune's show. I think.
Yeah, I think the trifecta of people that'll possibly be within it. We're going to have some of those New Republic fighter guys. Cara Dune is probably going to be in it. Cobb Vanth might be in the mix.
That's that's what I wanted to mention earlier as well.
He's a ranger, right? And then I think Mayfeld. I think that's how you sort of soak up all those.
Kind of like an Avengers of people who aren't really, like kind of. I don't want to say idiots, Ro, but you know what I mean. Like this kind of like ragtag group of people that you wouldn't necessarily consider. You know what I mean? Cobb Vanth, look at what happened. Like Mos Pelgo, look at what he did there. Like the Empire, like he could have easily died, and then he killed a Krayt Dragon with friggin' Mando. That's amazing.
No, I think that, well, and also, like, I've said a bunch, is even though, like, I do dig Jedi shit and stuff like that, I also do enjoy, like, I'm a big fucking Han Solo fan. Like, I'm a big Lando Calrissian fan. I like the elements of this story that aren't superhuman, that aren't magical, almost as much as I enjoy the elements that are. And so, like, and if that's what that kind of show is, if that show is sort of what is going to be, it's going to be them kind of building the New Republic and kind of giving a little more, showing us how we get to the world as it stands in The Force Awakens. Or at least
think about how many series regulars the Mando has, right? They're gonna need more than just Gina Carano as like the main person, right? So they'll have characters like maybe Timothy Olyphant's in like a couple episodes a season. Maybe Mayfeld is like the second protagonist as Cara Dune or whatever. Cara Dune. So they're gonna have to get some more characters because it's not gonna be directly in the Mando universe. You know what I mean?
I hope not, because I mean, like, God, Gina Carano can sell me on like the physicality of it, but she's not that good of an actress, and I don't know if she could if she could carry a whole show.
Maybe it's like a bunch of different POVs.
You're right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind even if they kind of go like with that, because again, with these guys have talked about how, or they've shown that they're really like, they love the extended universe. Did you guys ever remember those like Tales of the Mos Eisley Cantina or Tales of the Bounty Hunter books, where they were like, they would do like, wouldn't that be
anthologies type of stuff?
Almost like an anthology type of thing. Like this is this one. Sweet. That'd be kind of interesting. I like that. It's the same reason to me, I don't exactly know where that show kind of could or would go. That's also the reason why I'm super stoked about The Acolyte, is because it's like 100, 200 fucking years before any of the stuff that we've even seen. And it's just, and there's so much possibility there. And so that's I like the broadening of the Star Wars universe in that way. I think a lot, and I think that Mayfeld is given how universally praised like Bill Burr's performance was in that last. I think he just wrote himself a series.
I wonder who the showrunner is. I have to check again. I know Filoni and Favreau are Ahsoka. So they're doing Mandalorian and Ahsoka, so that's good news. I know someone else is doing Rangers of the New Republic. I'll have to check in on it, but we can talk about that another time.
Yeah. Well, no, that's what we'll be talking about a little bit on the stream that we're doing on your channel, right? We're going to be talking about on the Christmas stream.
Yeah.
100%, which you guys should all tune into. That's going to be on the 22nd, right?
The 20. So let me check. I was checking the calendar. It's gonna be on Tuesday night. Yeah.
Hell yeah. Tuesday night about like what about 6, 7 o'clock or something?
Yeah, something like around this time. It's like any later than that, super late for Helen because she's in Munich. So
100. Oh, that's right. But anyway, but keep the ear out for that for sure. So as far as like Grogu. Our favorite little guy, who we did not have a single fucking.
Sorry to cut you off. Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau are doing this show as well.
Oh, they are.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Holy shit! They're just giving them the keys. That's good news. Sorry. There we go.
No, I trust them.
Yeah, that is great news. I mean, they've done a tremendous job. Again, like they're sort of being like, you guys are the Kevin Feige of this. Of the MEU. Basically.
I think so.
Yeah, which I think is a smart move. Going to Grogu, we didn't see him. The first time in this entire show that we've never seen a single frame of that fucking cute little fucking face of his. Like, what do we think? Where do we think that he's going to be at? Like, do you think that they're going to, do you think they will have tested on him? They will be doing tests on him. Do you think that he'll be angry, dejected? Where do we see Grogu maybe emotionally or in some way? Like when we come back to him, like in the finale? What do you think?
It could be an interesting thing if Din gets Grogu back and he's like full on freaking the fuck out, and like needs to be like healed, coddled, put in a quiet room somewhere. Like I don't know, I could see like it be more interesting because if he gets him back and he's the same old Grogu, it's adorable again, and it seems a little bit less.
There could be like
seem kind of low, so I'm like,
well, it could be an interesting. I mean, not to keep bringing up Avatar: The Last Airbender, but there's like, when Aang kind of goes to the Avatar state, he's like really angry, and then like Katara has to sort of, it's like that one thing that can kind of bring him kind of back to his true self. I think that maybe Jin has to kind of do that. I mean, like there was that moment where he kind of kept trying to push through him literally to get him while he was making the call. This could be maybe like hopefully they go for an emotional note, because it seems like something they've been sort of building towards, but they haven't really gone for all the way.
Yeah.
If you think about what happened in episode 1 and like now, their relationship has become a lot more personal.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So
and like,
I mean,
what if Grogu's attacking his fellow like Bo-Katan team, or like attacking Mandalorians, and it's like he has to choose like, no, I'm going to get him back by like, even though he is attacking my people or whatever. Right. Something like that.
No, that, I mean, that, or it's just like, it's almost like, or somehow he like gets out, like Grogu is sort of just so disoriented and so fearful and just like kind of lashing out in a lot of ways. He's like this big chaos agent, like, which is what will probably
Brightburn.
Yeah. Oh no. Oh my God. And then like, except for Brightburn just ends horrifically. So hopefully not.
It'll end better.
Yeah, right. But like, I think that could be, and then he has to kind of reach him emotionally. So like, oh wait, right now? Hold on. No way. Like tonight, Gabe? Sorry, we'll talk about it. Like hit me up if like hopefully not. I don't know. I think that he's gonna be in a rough spot because I think like the not showing him, I think that he's gonna be in a very different state emotionally when we see it. You know what I mean? Like it's like when somebody doesn't show up in a story for a long time, they come back, you can kind of sell them on like how much they've changed. Do you know what I mean? Like in the last time that you've seen him. I think that possibly could be what happens. I mean, like, I mean, like, I don't know, like, but Maria was saying like, what if he has to walk Grogu back from the dark side specifically?
Not even what I was saying is that, like, I don't know that Din really knows the difference between like Jedi and Sith. Oh, because he barely even knows what Jedi are. I'm assuming that he would think that, Darth Vader is a Jedi and that, like, Dooku is a Jedi.
Whoever shows up and has a lightsaber,
you got a saber, you're okay.
Or Force energy. It's like,
you're speaking about understanding in Force sense, like what he sees, like as
Or you just like, I don't know, they're just all enemy sorcerers to him, like
right.
They're just all crazy old men.
Or as Arturia says, you know nothing, Din Snow.
Oh my God!
Oh jeez.
I think you know nothing, Din Snow. No, I think that. I mean, I think that it's gonna be an interesting. Okay, so that did happen. Oh my God! Like on this stream of the Mandalorian.
Breaking bummer news.
Breaking bummers. R.I.P. Jeremy Bulloch, the OG Boba Fett who played him in the original trilogy. Oh my God! I mean, like he was just like, well, my character finally got their fucking redemption arc and got their moment. Like I can go now or something. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Well, shout out to Jeremy Bulloch for being a part of cinema history. The same as all the guys in Suits are going. Darth Vader, David Prowse went like 3-4 weeks ago, and then now we got Jeremy. So shit. I mean, like shout out to the guys in Suits. shout out to all the Godzillas out there who just got to and Peter Mayhews of it all. Cheers to everybody. They got to give life to these characters, and that's no small feat to make it organic and feel real and have people be able to play a scene in these fantastical worlds. I think is a talent that I don't think a lot of people have that much respect for, but it is a talent, and it's something to be kind of, I think, revered and respected. So
check on who's the bodybuilder who played the mountain. Somebody check on him.
Hapsjor Bjornsson?
Yeah, check on. Is he okay? He's pretty healthy. Pretty young and healthy.
Yeah, we need to check on all the dudes in suits over there. Check on like every person that's ever fucking played Jason Voorhees. It's like, you know what I mean? It's looking rough.
Every person that's ever been affiliated with Jim Henson, are they still,
are they okay?
Jesus, or Doug Jones, like the Guillermo del Toro guy and stuff like that. We gotta watch it. Yeah, we gotta. Let's all check in on him for sure. But
shout out to the Puppet Masters.
Shout out to the Puppet Masters and the guys in suits, man. Absolutely. Yeah. R.I.P. Jeremy for sure. Hold on. Let's see what we got here. Grogu in prison with Ahsoka, tracker on Razor Crest.
Well,
there
was Crest a tracker.
No. But they could track it. They know that they made a stop.
Oh, they probably went there first, huh?
Interesting. That'd be interesting.
If they were tracking the Razor Crest, they would probably check.
They would know that he parked and fucking chilled for at least a day on this one planet. You know what I mean? Like, and what was formerly, like, you know, at least somebody that was kind of sympathetic to the Empire was a stronghold there. So I don't know. I mean, that's an.
I don't think we're seeing Ahsoka again, straight up.
I don't.
Yeah.
In all probability, that would be a very cool twist. That would be a twist that I would not see coming, and that I would think would be interesting. I do think that they teed up that Ahsoka like kind of show, and I think we're just going to have to wait until we kind of see how that picks up. Even though I like that, I think that's a very, very fun thing. Oh, okay. Do you think he's gonna be okay? Baby Yoda's going full ham, smashing shit, fucking Brookie Dunnan motherfuckers like an MMA fighter and shit. He's doing all this crazy stuff, and then he gets out the ball.
That's what I saw Naomi in the chat. Naomi be great. I said,
Naomi. I was like, there we go.
I was like, actually, they keep talking about this ball. They keep waving it at us. I feel like that. We were thinking the opposite. We're like, oh no, he's going to use the ball like Magneto.
Oh, I was literally just going to say that. Holy shit.
He's going to yandu.
Yeah. He's going to yeet it through his head.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. I like that idea better. It's not a weapon. It's a memory of like peace and happiness and having to catch with.
So Din will show him that. He'll say,
when he's going crazy.
Ball.
Yeah, I think. I think
you'll give it to him. You can have the ball if you calm down.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, seriously. I was like, we need you to chill, kid. I'm so sorry. It's like, it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. You know what I mean? Like, it's. Yeah, I think
it's
that
his binky.
It is his binky.
Wow.
It definitely. It's like oh shit. It's like Inception. What is it? What do they call those things again? It's like the top from Inception. It like lets you know, like it kind of roots your humanity down maybe a little bit. I think that I think that he's going to be in a dark place. I don't know if we're going to get a bunch of clones. If we are going to do it, we need to do it like right now.
I think we're going to see failed experiments is what we're going to see.
Oh my God, little Grogus that are like,
oh, no.
I don't necessarily know Grogu's, but I think, other stuff.
Like
I think we're going to
like a big monster, like
a Brodu, a big bruiser.
Grogu. Bizarro Grogu, where she's just this hulking beast that's adorable.
Shame.
Oh no, that is not
shame.
No shame. No shame on that. That was
I've been picturing it in my head, just like a Grogu Hulk.
Yeah, just like a fucking jacked up little fucking dude. Like that's now I'm going in. That's happening 1000%. We're getting We're getting a Brodues.
That's a really bad meme. I don't think they'll do that.
I think it'll be kind of like the Abomination, as long as it doesn't look like something out of like Resident Evil. Like that's all I want. It's just like not some like.
Not like Nemesis, yeah.
Like Nemesis, sort of bullshit.
To be fair, I don't think that they're going to. I don't think that they're going to necessarily get there. I think that they might. What?
Grogu smash.
Grogu, yeah, exactly. Grogu smash, absolutely. Or no, that's what Din says. That's what Din says. He pulls an Avenger. He's like, Grogu smash, and then he fucking starts going full fucking ham on it. No, I think that it'll be. I don't think that they're going to get that far into it. I mean, like, if they're going to show a bunch of cloned little dudes, this is the only opportunity to do it and to make it happen. You know what I'm saying? I just don't see them doing any kind of going that far into it. I mean, like, unless we're kind
I want to go full Gremlins too. A vegetable Grogu, an electricity Grogu in the movie.
We have we have dark troopers. Well, we have a Grogu. Like, oh my god, it's just writing itself. I think that I don't think that it's quite going to be there. I think that because they haven't quite pulled at the heartstrings with the two of them like that much, or at least that hard. I think it's going to be a really poignant emotional moment. I think that's going to kind of be like the cornerstone of the whole thing. I mean, because it is like it's going to be a pretty large scale battle. We're going to have Boba Fett, Bo-Katan, possibly, fucking Din, flying around fighting these fucking dark troopers that can also do the same shit. These dark trooper Iron Men, basically. Rock'em Sock'em Robots. I mean, like, it's going to be pretty wild. Like, a lot of the budget is going to be kind of tucked away, I think, into this episode. I think it's going to be I think it's going to be pretty wild. Oh, here we go. Well, this is, honestly, if whoever's down with it, let Phoebe Waller-Bridge. Who's Phoebe Waller-Bridge?
She's from, what was that show? God, what is it? It's on the tip of my tongue.
Oh, she's from, what is she from? Fleabag.
Yeah. She's very, very talented. I don't know if she could do Mando. Don't know if she could quite pull that off. Very talented lady.
I don't know what Scarlett Johansson's been doing lately. I mean, she might have a Black Widow movie coming out eventually, but you know what? Just put her in the role.
She's Lando now.
Oh my God,
she's Lando now.
She's like this neurotic English. It's like, well, hello, what have we here? Like, I mean, that's what she's doing. All the fucking Lando's fucking lines and shit. I don't know.
But Fleabag's an incredible show. Go watch it.
By every measure. So I mean, like, I don't know, any other things that we're gonna see.
She was a droid. Everybody said, I forgot she was a droid in Solo.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, right. Well,
she was the voice of a droid. I forgot.
But by this time, that droid has been assimilated into the Millennium Falcon.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she's no longer a thing anymore.
But maybe they use that voice in multiple droids.
They could.
It was like a mass-produced voice box.
They
I don't know how the droid production is.
Right, exactly. Shout out to Kovtron. Y'all are great. Din will take the helmet off with Gideon. Interesting. Mando, mano y mano. Interesting.
Mando y mano.
That's true. I misread that.
Or Gideon tells him to take it off.
Right? Or something. As someone.
That sounds sexy.
Someone
with all the sexy references today.
There we go. I'm with it.
Hey, Mando, take it off. That's some fanfic right there.
I'm just like, you guys have sold me on this Gideon losing his eye and like Baby Yoda eating it like an egg. Sean has talked about this in like our live chat so many times.
And then just,
you said he'd force pull it. I'm just like, if the eye goes a flying and it's rolling across the floor.
Oh, he's eating that eye.
He's eating it like a grape.
He's eating it.
Yeah. He's gonna pop.
Try and stop him
and get that shit going. Well, thank you very much, Kovtron. We appreciate you. Naomi, come on, y'all gave me something to do during the work day. Thanks for another great show. We appreciate you, my dear. Thank you so much for everything.
Absolutely. You all gave us something to do that's kind of like working.
Yeah.
Because we can't.
We can't work. Not yet.
Yeah, because we can't go to work because we work in fucking bars right now and we live in America. I think that. Yeah, I think that it'll be a little bit simpler than we. I think it'll be a fairly kind of simple but elegant kind of way to end it. But yeah, I mean, I hopefully there's a twist in there. I hope there is. I mean, like I hope it's something that I'm not kind of like expecting, but we'll see.
You know what though? Favreau has such deep knowledge, and Filoni is like the architect of so many things.
Yeah.
That they're gonna really turn something cool.
Yeah, I've never been able to really predict this show, so
The writing has been so friggin' good for all the episodes. I think there's gonna be a surprise in there, a surprise of some kind.
For sure.
Oh yeah. I think that it'll be there's gonna be some really fucking interesting twists. But like I don't know. I just or like
I think it's gonna be with Moff Gideon, to be honest. I think I think he's gonna get like a level up as far as I don't want to say popularity, but as far as a glow up from the show, because I think as far as the way he was talking from interviews, it seems like he's going to be in future seasons.
No. I think that also kind of goes into a little bit of what we were talking about insofar as him just like giving him more to do. I think that he's gonna kind of have like the physical kind of altercation. I think that he's gonna come out. I don't think that they're gonna kill him, but I do think that it's definitely in the cards that he's going to that he's going to be like hurt, like personally hurt, like by this crew, if not if not Grogu. You know what I mean? Like I just feel like that seems like that's about the only way to take it and kind of to bolster that relationship. You know what I mean?
It's gonna be interesting. It's shit's gonna hit the fan. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's gonna be fucking wild. I gotta pull this up. I gotta, again, we've been talking about it a bunch. This is the last thing that we're gonna show before we jump off of this thing, because Kyle was like, I got the shame bell by bringing it up, but I'm clearly not the only one that's thought about this by any stretch.
Shame.
All hail!
Shame.
All look upon me and despair for Brody.
No.
I'm getting real low, big guy.
I'm just gonna leave this up the whole time. We're not coming back. It's just gonna be Morgan.
Only
right
I get to be me and little. Oop,
you and Brodu.
me and Brodu. Just hanging out.
Sean, take it down.
Take it down. Well,
his dick is like right above my hair. It's kind of weird.
Oh my god! Right? No, but we appreciate y'all hanging out with us very much. This has been a really awesome thing, and I mean, like, come a little bit later tonight, early morning of Friday, we're going to have all of our answers. We're going to see what the fuck's
it drops
going
in like under 12 hours.
Well,
under
shit.
12
like
hours.
10 hours.
3 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. It will be live.
Yeah, it's crazy. So I mean, I'm very excited to kind of keep this thing going and stuff like that. And I was it was, we've had an awesome time. This is our penultimate episode of like our Mando live streams and stuff like that. We got ourselves one more coming up. If you guys want to kind of sift through a bunch of everything that happens, hit us up for this coming Monday at 7 p.m. Central, where we're doing our Mando Monday live streams. And we're also going to be doing some live streams with this man right down here. You know him. You love him. I think that he's shown he's proven himself, even though obviously that he didn't have to, but he's been like, I got some interesting things to say. I got a lot of information. I got a lot of lore, and I'm here to fucking make some, like, kind of get your brains cooking about some possibilities of this shit. Kyle from Fundomedia, you should go give him a like, a subscribe, all that good stuff. Kyle, what you got coming up in the next couple days? What do we got happening? So tomorrow I will be starting my first ever. I don't know if you guys watched The Expanse, but Expanse season 5 is back. Sure.
Ashaya from History of Westeros and me are teaming up for 8 reviews. They did the first 3 episode drop like they did with The Boys. So tomorrow 9 p.m. I got a stream for that. And I got to interview the 2 main male characters at Dragon Con last year, Stephen Strain and Wes Chatham. We got to sit down with them and chill with them. So we're going to try to get some of the people from the show on for that. But right now it's going to be me and Shay are going to cover the first 3 episodes tomorrow night. Saturday, you saw Helen with me earlier. We're going to be doing our review of the Mando Saturday, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with Aziz from History Westeros. He's coming on for the finale.
Wow, yeah.
And then, so that's going to be cool. That'll be our final Mando kind of review for the season. And then Tuesday, Sean, you're coming on in the Drases and Helen. We're going to have a Star Wars Christmas celebration. We're going to talk about all the new shows that were dropped. And we'll talk a little bit about the
we were only going to talk about the holiday special.
Only the holiday special.
I got duped.
Only Ichibaka.
My only area of expertise is the holiday special.
and the Mando finale, because something big's probably going to happen. So Star Wars, that's kind of going on. And WandaVision comes in January, and then every 2 months after WandaVision, there's a new Marvel show. 6 Marvel shows next year. That's going to be the meat and potatoes of my channel because I'm moving away from Game of Thrones. I'm tired of it.
Can't say I blame you, my friend.
Maybe until House of Dragon comes out, and then I'll cover that. You know what I mean? But so big year for movies, television, all sorts of cool shows. And then The Witcher next summer, I'll be covering that. And so that's kind of what I do on my channel. I do gaming, and then I do cover Marvel, all sorts of different shows, and Mando.
Awesome, man. Well, dude, we really do appreciate you coming by. It's been an absolute ball, as it usually fucking is when we get together. And we really do appreciate y'all. So anyway, we're keep an eye out for us over there. We're going to be putting out our. Somebody was asking in the chat what we're kind of coming up on next. We got a couple of things kind of cooking in the works. We got ourselves. As far as like the next kind of week to week kind of shit, kind of big tentpole show, we're going to be doing WandaVision. Also, another one that we're doing, we're going to be doing if we got any Cobra Kai fans out there.
Oh my God, we're announcing it officially.
I mean.
I'm so excited. We converted you.
This makes it real.
We converted you. We did it.
We're gonna be covering Cobra Kai season 3 coming up. So those are gonna be our 2 big shows in January that I think are gonna be a shitload of fun. Keep it right here. We got those coming up, and then also we have our finale coverage, which we're gonna have our reaction video. Probably gonna get posted either Saturday night or Sunday morning. Because we got ourselves we crack a little too many jokes, not too many jokes. I think we crack a bunch of awesome jokes, but the editing's going to take just a wee bit of time on that. But look out for our coverage of that there.
They can't all be winners. You just got to throw it. It's like pasta. You got to see which ones are done.
Got to see you know what I mean?
Throw them in the cabinet. It's fine.
Absolutely. But check us out. So we'll have that video dropping again with some more special guests coming up, and we appreciate y'all have been coming every week for our Mando Monday live streams. This coming Monday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. So anyway, if you also want to give us a little bit of support, head on over to patreon.com/SeanTankTop and consider giving us a little bit of support there. You get a bunch of awesome content there, and we'll let y'all go. We appreciate y'all. R.I.P. Jeremy Bullock. Everybody stay safe. Keep your fucking masks on. Do the goddamn right thing.
Get hyped for the finale. It's going to be good.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
Good luck, everybody. Hope you all enjoy it tomorrow.
This is
later,
the way.
y'all. We'll see. This is the motherfucking way.